Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, thank you very much and welcome coming here and giving an opportunity to speak and serve in the mission of Guru and Gauranga. Just some time back, there was announcement that was made that we celebrated Vyas Puja on Tuesday, and that was as per lunar calendar, and as per solar calendar or you say Western calendar, today is the day when Sri Govinda was born on 1st of September. So today is his Christian birthday, if you would like to say so. So those who are not aware, we are talking about Srila Prabhupada or Pandaracharya.
Tarviiko kukaan käännöstä suomeksi? Jos tarvii, niin täällä voi kääntää. Just about the translation.
Now, broadly speaking, we are talking about Vyas Puja. So what is Vyas Puja? Who is Vyas? We'll be briefly talking about that. But more important thing is for us to understand that we are here to celebrate the birthday party of our beloved teacher, more than a teacher, because a general teacher gives you knowledge in his field, but real teacher is the one who connects us to ourselves, the person who has created us to God. So Srila Prabhupada was that person. And there have been many discussions and conclusions, but it finally boils down to the same thing that you may accept, you may reject, but what is true remains true. Like if there is sunshine outside, and if I try to disclaim that there is no sun, that doesn't change anything. So Srila Prabhupada is a reality or fortune who happened to us, and directly and indirectly we are connected to him. So he gave us this Mahamantra. If you forget anything and everything, if you just remember this, this is good enough to take care of us. It's something like this, a medicine. When we are sick, is given to us, whether we believe in medicine or not, medicine still works on us. And of course, if we believe in medicine, then faith also helps us recover faster. So he gives this mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Now, in different years, there are different processes, but in this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who comes as Krishna himself, he mentions that this is the only process by which we can perfect our lives. So when we are talking about Vyas Puja, so we realize that okay, we are talking about God, and many times people were asking that why Srila Prabhupada said that you have to respect Guru same as God, and because Guru is a like human being like us. Well, to a mundane eye, it looks like that. But actually, when Krishna speaks, he is speaking through some medium. So Guru happens to be that medium. And the definition of a Guru would be a medium which is totally transparent. Like if you are seeing me, you should see me as I am and not through some color. If you are having sunglasses, so your vision will be tainted by that color. So a Guru is really transparent like water by which you can see through everything, and Guru has no hidden agenda. And we are talking about the Guru or spiritual master who is a representative of Vyasadeva. Now, so that's why when we, since he is representing Vyasadeva, so we also call this ceremony or birthday of our spiritual master as Vyasa Puja. Now, when we are talking about Vyasa Puja, the first instructions were given to Brahma, who created the entire universe. And then Brahma instructed to his son Narad. And Narad was the one who gave it to Vyasa because he was given the responsibility of writing about all the scriptures. And despite writing everything, he still felt that there is some sort of emptiness. Like whenever I'm asked to say something in temple, whenever I come to a temple, I'm always getting a feeling that there was something which is missing. There's some sort of vacuum. So same way Vyasdev felt the same thing. So then he said, why don't you write about God and his pastimes and activities? So that's where he has come into picture. And later on, his disciple was Shukdev Goswami, the same person who was instructing Parshit Maharaj when he was about to leave his body. That, of course, that is the ultimate instruction which was being given. So when we are talking about Vyas Puja, so we are talking about the person who got this knowledge at our level to everybody. And who's Vyasadev? He's representing Narad Muni. And who's Narad Muni? Who's representing Brahma? And who's Brahma? Who's representing Krishna? So basically, this process itself is called parampara or disciplic succession. So if you see in this picture on the left side, you'll see there are four sampradayas where instruction were given. So one was Brahma Sampradaya, which is ours, then Sri Sampradaya, which was given to Sri Lakshmi, and then Ruth Sampradaya, which was given to Lord Shiva, and Kumar Sampradaya, which was given to sons of Brahma or the four Kumars. So we are coming from Brahma Sampradaya, so we are getting into more details about Brahma Sampradaya. So Lord Brahma gave, as we discussed just now, gave these instructions to Narad Muni, who gave it from his, say, between 3 and 5. We are now not talking about Shukdev Goswami. It comes to Madhvacharya. Then at 27th level, when Krishna himself came as a human being, in the form of human being, at 22nd time. Then 29th is Bhakti Vinod Thakur. 31st is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then Srila Prabhupada. So this is our parampara. And those who are instructed how it is given, so this is another graphic representation. And those we are interested in minor details, so this is actually parampara. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Srila Prabhupada is 32nd in the chain of disciplic succession. And now, if you see there's some Maharaj who's coming out there, they are 33rd, then directly they are receiving. So that you realize that this information is not that old. It is still very much in present history. So this is 128th Vyasa Puja, and to make it very simply, if you were alive physically in front of us, it would be 128th birthday you will be celebrating. So, since it is his birthday ceremony we are celebrating, so I thought that we'll just briefly discuss. Many of you might be aware of some of the things, and maybe not other, but I thought since I'm getting this opportunity, so I have just tried to tabulate everything here so that it's a quick reference for all of us. So he was born in 1896 on today's date as per Christian calendar, and August 27th, when it was actually celebrated on Tuesday in the temple. His father was a cloth merchant, so sometime you'll come out like that why people wonder that why he was so successful, because his father was coming from business family, and so we can also use the word called vyavasayik buddhi. So basically, he was very professional right from birth, and of course, his mother was a loving homemaker, Rajni. So because of them, he was very affectionate. That nature he got from his mother, and to be very precise and clear in his thought process, he got from his father. And about his mother, it is said that mother had this thought process that my son should be always protected. So she took a vow that because my son remains sick, so she took a vow that if my son becomes healthy, so I'll do something in return. So she started eating food and everything from left hand. And she decided that till the time her son asked, when Shri Prabhupada himself asked me, his son was Abhay, then Abhay asked me that why are you eating from left hand? From that day, I'll start eating from right hand. That was her vow. Because she loved her son so much that she wanted that her son should be protected at any cost. So that was her vow. So you can imagine how affectionate she was. And then generally when we have this name giving ceremony or naam sanskaram, so what happened then? An astrologer came and he checked his horoscope. So he told that when this child becomes 70, Imagine we are talking such as people who are genuine. So at the age of 70, he will cross across the ocean and become great exponent religion and open 188 temples. This was the prediction when Srila Prabhupada was not even able to speak. There was a prediction given about him. Now, what makes it rather strange because at that time, if you just leave even your village and go outside, you become outcast. And at that time, it was predicted that he will not only leave village, he will go outside the ocean, he will leave the continent, and he will open 100 temples. So this was the prediction which was given by astrology just when he was born. And when he was 5 years old, in fact, just this week I had been to one school and I was talking to some students, and of course they were 7 years, 8 years old and all those things. I just asked, okay, do you know about Rath Yatra? They said, we don't know. And in fact, they were quite mischievous, some of them. They were just even not willing to listen. So I just asked them, do you know that what is uh, Jagannath Yatra? I think one or barring one or two kids, nobody knew. Some of them had some idea, but not many of them. They said, okay, you are not even aware of it, and at the age of 5 years, Srila was already conducting his Rath Yatra at the age of 5. And then they were a bit shocked because they are still trying to figure out what is Rath Yatra. I wouldn't blame them if they were Finnish people, but they were coming from India and Nepal and Sri Lanka. So that was a bit strange that coming from that, they are not even aware of it. And at this stage, they were already doing. And he was not only conducting it's not like a child's play, like we conduct, okay, like we play with dolls and all those things that we are conducting, etc. He was involving actively everybody around from neighbor and everybody, and they were cooking, and it was actually, he was not playing, he was actually seriously engaging. So you can imagine he was such a highly elevated soul, and people were seriously believing. It's not that like, okay, when your child is playing, and if your neighbors comes there, okay, you say, okay, you will be a bit embarrassed, okay, yeah, child playing, so just feel it's okay. We are somewhat apologetic, but not only this, even neighbors were involved. So you can imagine what sort of aura he had. As he grew up in 1936, we are talking. So he met his spiritual master, and then the time when Bharatasa Saraswati Thakur told him that whenever you get some money, please print some books. If you get any money, stop, don't even think about making temples, because he had already seen that the temples which he had made, and Bhakti Saraswati Thakur himself was not an ordinary person. He had also established many Gauri Math. But then he saw that when the money comes, then comes all the side effects. Like it is said that in Kali Yuga, if you are hoarding money, so money, as per Parikshit money, Maharaj's boon, money is one of the places where Kali would be also Kali would be manifesting. So wherever the money comes, you see that if there's good amount of money, it's okay. But the minute it exceeds that amount, then all sort of ill things also start happening. So Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur saw that his own disciples were behaving in improper manner. So in fact, he was so sad that when he saw Srila Prabhupada is coming, and Srila Prabhupada was living as a grihastha in his family, so he was not in his ashram. But he saw that this is a very genuine person. If he has any doubts, he comes and clearly asks. Mostly he listens, but if he has any question, he asks. But he is a pure soul, so he knew that. So that is the time when he saw that this is happening. So he told Srila Prabhupada that actually, if I had my way of doing things, I would remove all these marble tiles which are there in the flooring and all those things, just sell that off and just make books. Can somebody mention why he was insisting that books are more important than even the temple itself? Anybody? Yes, bro.
Books have knowledge.
So you mean to say you can read books, then there's no point in coming temple. I'm saying when you have to choose between, Srila Prabhupada was told by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, between books and temple, I would prefer books. What he meant by that? That's my question.
What could it be because of his guru told him?
No, no, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, let's say Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is sitting out here and he's telling you that between temple and books, you get money. I made temple, but if you get money, you try to, as priority, try to make books. Why he said that? Please understand one thing, when we are talking about temple is a place where we all come together. Like, okay, something like this, we all go to school to study. We can study at home also. In fact, during this Corona times, people are studying digitally also. Then, but that does not replace the importance of school. So temple cannot be replaced. But still, he mentioned that.
We can spread knowledge through books. Spread knowledge through books.
Yeah, the thing is that
Krishna
I'm sorry.
and Krishna's book will have happened.
Well, Krishna's name also and Krishna's temple is also not different from Krishna by that logic.
There is Krishna's Katha.
Okay, let me put it this way. Can somebody recollect what, how we started today? See, we are having doubts even what happened just 5 minutes or 10 minutes back. And here we are talking about instruction that because our mission is a preaching mission. Like, let's say, for example, Govinda Prabhu says something. We have to hear this, and then he is expecting we go out and we start preaching others. So that means if he says something, it is understood that he is giving something important which has to distribute it to others. But if between me and him only it is getting lost, how can I give it to others? Like he is playing with the harmonium out here, and if I don't even know, how will I even relate? So that's exactly what Bhaktisant Saraswati Thakur meant. That what I am telling you, you may remember, you may have fantastic memory, but even you have normal memories, human memory, you may also forget. But if it is a written instruction, what I tell you, what you tell others, even if you say other person might come back for clarification, but at that person's own time, that person will be able to read and understand, and I can always come back and check with you. So the original, the discipling succession remains. Like when you're in Satyug, like if you remember in Mahabharata, there is a war going on. So they were not even using only physical arm. They were just using mantras and they were performing and then just doing this. And it was such a good memory at that time that there's a war going on and I have to kill somebody and I remember exact mantras and then do. And in our case, if somebody says, okay, you are about to board from the train and train is just about to shut and you are panicking, can you think about a Mahamantra at that time? Which is very simple to pronounce. We don't have that type of memories. So we are in Kali Yuga, so our memories are also degraded. So it becomes very difficult for us to remember anything. That was the reason why he said that please go on books. That's why every December we have this book marathon distribution. The idea is to spread the instruction as it is. In the Bhagavad Gita also the cover itself mentioned as it is. Because if I, let's say another example I take, let's say Govinda Prabhu give me some instruction and I read it and I understand, I say, okay, I think it has to be done like this. So I'm putting my adulterated thoughts. I'm not giving the information. If I'm a real guru and he is my guru, then I should give exactly what he is giving without putting my inputs. I should give exactly what he said, and later on I can say, okay, and my understanding is this, but you decide for yourself. But if I'm adulterating, then that's not good. So that's what is the importance of books. So Srila Prabhupada realized that he was feeling a bit guilty that I come to meet Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur and he has always given me spiritual knowledge, which is the best knowledge. But what have I done in return? So he just asked, is there something I could do? And we are talking December 1936. So around November also he had asked, and within a month, Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur had already passed away. And that time we were not in WhatsApp or Telegram that anywhere world can information we could just like that. It was not the case. So he had written instruction and that letter when it reached Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur had already left and Srila Prabhupada received the letter after he passed away 15 days later, like after a fortnight. But then he realized, okay, this is my life's mission. And then he realized, okay, this is the message which I was waiting for, and then he actually started the mission to start his form. So you can see his dedication to his guru, and this is what is expected when we talk about Vyas Puja towards our spiritual master. And not only this, to what limits he went. You can see this some of the books I've listed it out here so that you don't have to keep on remembering what books, what books. Some of the big books like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, but other small books also. Something small as a perfect question, perfect answer, teaching of Queen Kunti, Krishna Reserve Player, Science of Self-Realization. Now you say that knowledge remains the same, but in every book you realize there is some other dimension added to it. Like if you are in an art class and you are supposed to practice something. So teacher says, okay, like you are sitting in this room, you see this public address system. So sitting wherever you are, what exactly you see, you start drawing a picture of that. So you realize that if there are 10 people in 10 directions, everybody right is making a picture or the sketch of the same object. But every picture looks different if the person is doing correctly from there where the person is sitting from. So same way, all these books give different type of instruction. Like Bhagavad Gita is an instruction which Lord Krishna is giving Arjun when he's in a dilemma. That okay, the thing is that I'm forced to kill my own loved ones, whereas I don't want to, even if they are at a wrong, I don't want to do that. So to a reluctant person, he makes not only a willing person, the person gets converted. That's what Bhagavad Gita is all about. Srimad Bhagavatam talks about all the knowledge which is given as sum and summary in Srimad Bhagavatam in a detailed manner. And they have, of course, all given very different examples. Like in India, most of us understand spiritual knowledge because our parents give us stories. Some of them are fictitious, some they have heard from their own parents, but it is like Shruti. So they give us this knowledge through our ears. They give us in various stories. So Srimad Bhagavatam is following the same tradition. Then Chaitanya Charitamrita talks about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came as Krishna in his devotee avatar. Then when you are talking about Devahuti, when she realized that her husband has left, now she's about to, he has taken sannyas, and she realized that my son is nothing but God Himself. So she said, "Give me knowledge by which I can perfect my life." So Lord Kapil told her, and immediately after the instruction got over, he also left. Likewise, Queen Kunti, when she realized that okay, now Krishna is about to leave, so she was praying to Krishna that okay, our happiest times are not now that you have given us kingdom and everything is peaceful. That's not our happiest time. But the perfect times are when we are always under fear. You are always coming and meeting us, and you are always saving us from all the troubles, and we are always thinking of you. That is the best mercy. That is the type of knowledge which Srila Prabhupada is sharing with us. Then who am I? This type of thing comes from the science of self-realization. How perfect of lives. So everything is given in the detailed manner by Srila Prabhupada. You can understand what thought process he had because he was studying from Sanskrit, so you can imagine what was command over Sanskrit. Then he was reading from Bengali, from the Vaishnava literatures, and then he was also reading commentaries from many people. So what you see happening out here is concentrate coming from many experiences and many knowledges. Not only that, he was giving lectures. He was not just sitting in a temple and just writing books like you find some fiction writers. He was actually taking lectures also. Then he was taking initiation ceremonies. He was telling me what are the various sanskars. Then he was at that time, even Western time, there was not even culture of wedding was also not that popular. In fact, he was talking to people who had given up on the society. So he was telling them what actually society means. How, if you want to live in structure, how you live properly. So he was teaching all those things. So not only teacher, he was also acting as parent. He was also acting as a guide. He was also acting as a priest. He was taking care of all the ceremonies. He was teaching them everything, right from cooking, how to dress up, how to behave, how to interact. He was telling everything. Then, when you are talking about big entities, like every 2 3 months, when he was in America, his visa would be expiring. Then he has to follow legal procedures. So he was very well versed in this legal things also. So you can see that he was prepared for all the eventualities. Then he was writing his diaries, his pastimes also. Not he was talking only about this. Then this magazine, those who are coming from India or US, you might have seen this magazine, Back to Godhead. Besides publishing all these things and everything, he was also publishing these magazines over 17 years. So you can see that his contribution in everywhere was immense. And yes, when we are talking, all this work started at the age of 70. Is there anybody who's above 70 in this room? 70 years of age? से मन इसका मुद्दा से Imagine right now if we say that okay we have to go and Govinda Prabhu needs some volunteers. There is a Harinam going in Helsinki, so to rush right now and carry some heavy pots and all those things. So how many people will be ready? And we none of us is in 70s. So he started his life as we know in ISKCON actively when his contribution started reflecting. At the age of 70, he started all this. So all these books, talks which you're hearing or listening about is happening after the age of 70. And most of us don't even know that we'll live up to the age of 70. And where his spiritual mission actually started fructifying after the age of 70. So if you realize that he was, some people called him scholar or something, some people thought he is a philosopher depending on where they are coming from. Then some people, political levels, they called him cultural ambassador. Then he was prolific author. We have seen that, religious leader, spiritual teacher, social critic, because he was not only saying what is truth, he was saying even if the other person did not want to hear the truth. And of course, he was a holy man. He was not only this, he was everything. It's like this, as we said that okay, if you have to take a picture of this from every dimension, he was covering and he was everything else. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had also predicted. It's not that he came incidentally. Even before he was born, we told discuss about astrologer. He said when he is born, he'll be now he's born. He'll be doing this at age 70. And 500 years before that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already said that it will be happening all over beyond India. And here predicted as his modern chief will become, and that was Srila Prabhupada. He lived to fulfill that prophecy also. So you can see he was not an ordinary person. So that sometimes it so happens that if you see DD every day, even if he Srila Prabhupada was sitting here himself presently in physical form, some of us would take him lightly. That's not the case because that is an actual offense. So Srila Prabhupada was not an ordinary person. So when we are talking Vyas Puja, this is actually what it means. So I was also studying what else I could talk about this. So he started his life at the age of in the name of S.V. Law saw in ISKCON in 1965 when he was 70 years of age, and he was going there. He had two heart attacks. Many people don't even survive first heart attack, and not only he survived, and we are talking not some luxury liner like let's say some of you, some of us go to Sweden or Tallinn in a luxury ship. This was not the case. We are talking about a thing which was carrying goods. It was not meant for passengers. So that was the only element by which he could go to America. So he took that, and he had hardly $7 in his hand. If I say you have €7 in your hand and please go, let's say neighboring country, let's say Estonia, let's not go to Sweden. So how will you manage within just €7 and you do have that type of confidence? He had that confidence. He just had $7 in his pocket and he was there. And then he started his con. And within 9 years, he had 5,000 devotees. And we are very happy if you are a Grihasa, we have our own family. And if you are out of our kids, if only one kid listens to us, we are more than happy. But he had achieved 5,000 devotees or 5,000 kids to his name who are listening to him. Then 108 temples in 6 continents. And I asked just the kids this thing, okay, are you living in your own house in Finland or in rented house? So two of them said in our own house and others said in rented. I said, okay, since you're living in your own house, when can you make your new house? So well, sir, it's very difficult. And here we are talking a person who had made within 9 years 108 temples. Then Bhagavanath Yatra at the age of 5 he had done, and in the age of 1967, just 2 years when he was in America, first Yatra happened in San Francisco. Then his concept came out with this concept of Sunday Love Feast, and he was very observant. He had once been before he went to America. He was in Amritsar and he saw this golden temple and he saw this langar concept and he loved it very much. He said, "Well, this is the right thing to do." So wherever he saw anything good happening anywhere, he would just inculcate or imbibe that. So then he started the Sunday Love Feast, which we also have as Sunday Prasadam. And then Govinda's chain of restaurant, it was created because of him. Then he was always speaking, so there were more than 2,200 recordings, which are archived also. So they are always existing for us to take care. Then conversations, there are more than 1,300, so he kept that also. Then not only this, he was into music. If you ask me to play music, I said that either I focus on music or I talk. But he was not only doing this, he was playing music and he was teaching others how to play other instruments also. So he had more than 20 devotional albums, which he had, and then more than 70 books he's written. And yes, for all this, a person who's more than 70-year-old sleeping just few hours because he has to do so many other things. And there was no support system, he had to create his own system. And if you know about the Encyclopedia Britannica, they look at this like the contribution which is done. This is like immense, to say the least. Astounded Astronomy is surprising or shocking literary and academic communities worldwide. Nobody has written that type of literature what he could produce at such a phenomenal speed. And then he founded Bhaktivedanta Book Trust because he realized that if you have to make print books at a faster rate, then you can't depend on other presses to do this. So his own there has to be BBT, which was printing press, and they had more than 55 million literatures by 1970s within his lifetime. Those were books in 25 languages, not only one. And then Chetan Charitamrita was flat 18 months in 7 volumes. In within 18, 1.5 years, he had done the entire thing. He knew all that, but writing, like incidentally, he had some his manuscripts when he went to America. But he went to one place at Bowery, and then he lost those books. His typewriter was stolen, so he had to do everything from scratch. Like if this is there's some problem, I can go to some hardware guy and ask him to recover my files, and I can come back easily within a day or two, depending on how fast I am. Or if I have backup, I can do that. But if it is physical thing which is lost, you have no other option but to write it again. So that's what he was doing. So there 70 books. After the age of 70, he was again and again writing. Then he was a globetrotter. 14 times within those 9 years he traveled. If you ask me to go to India, then I already have that jet lag. But he did not have that luxury. He was doing that worldwide. And he was in 24 countries. He was preaching, inspiring followers. And like if he came here, okay, so make a temple in Helsinki. Govinda Prabhu make. And Govinda Prabhu start making temple. Then he goes away. And after a few months, he will just come back. Okay, has he done or he requires some help? If there's something going wrong, he requires some support, he'll come and do that. So you're like doing hand holding also, not just giving a tradition, but hand holding so that the person becomes proficient. And not only this, he established the entire ISKCON society. And that time we were not living in the age of internet or Wi-Fi. So everything has to be written physically by hand. Or there were no mobile phones and also you could have satellite communication like now Huawei is coming with satellite phone. It doesn't think like that. So he had to personally come and physically do all these things. And you can see that this was a temple he was fortunate to see within his lifetime that this temple was done. Those who have gone to Vrindavan, you realize that by 75 it was already done. And if you see on the left side of this is where Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi is there. You can still go and have this darshan out there. And if you go in Mayapur, you'll find there's a Pushpa Samadhi is also there. Is it right, Prabhu? That in Vrindavan is the actual Samadhi and yeah, so. And Mayapur has Pushpa Samadhi, the flowers were there because that was his favorite place. Mayapur was the land he wanted everybody to recognize. So he had done lots of work. So this is what he had done. So he stood for Krishna, and what he wanted us to do is that read his books so that the knowledge, it was not his knowledge, but the knowledge which was coming through discipleship right from the mouth of Krishna. So he wanted us to follow that. And it is said that if you are associated with pure devotee, that mercy of the devotee, that's why Krishna also declares Arjun that Arjun, please declare. Because whatever is, if I say something, I may abandon it. But if you say as my devotee, you declare it, just to hold your value, I'll stick to that. That's what he mentioned. And I'll just start with this so that you are able to appreciate to what limits Srila Prabhupada went and how much he showed his mercy on us. This is when he was just about to leave his body. This video I managed to
Devotional who get a different nature. And if they engage in basis of sense recognition, they can see.
And then the karma is that they overlap the eating.
Yeah. And according to the association of different nature, we get a body. Karanam Gunasamlaksha Sadasat Janmajoni. Therefore, we should always seek good association, devotee association. then our life will be successful.
So even when he was leaving his body, he was still thinking about us, those who remain thankless. We are just trying to do our things, but it is said that when we are having somewhat peaceful life or holy life, by some fortune, we will remember or we'll be able to hear Krishna's name when we are just passing our last breath, because our life is preparation and death is the moment of death, is the moment of our examination. So how we fare, that is what life is all about. And at that time also it is mentioned that generally in scriptures it is mentioned that when a person dies of old age, yeah, because now we are in such times that people don't even live that long. But if we are having pious life in the old age, this our cough or this mucus starts coming and starts choking us. That's the last moment. If everything is going naturally, and if we are fortunate, which you saw, like even at the last breath, he was still talking about Krishna. So you can imagine how such a devotee was. And if you think that it's very easy, like okay, it's like okay, he came, he spoke, spoke for half an hour, 1 hour, and he spoke, and that's great. Like that's about it. It's very easy to say something like that. But please understand what we see out here is what actually the results which he gave us. But his life was full of difficulties. 30 years he spent in India only, telling people from the age of 40 to 70 that please take Krishna consciousness seriously. But nobody took that seriously. Like, okay, how does it feel to you when you are trying to tell something at home, your family is not listening, but then you leave your place, your home, your city, your country, your continent, and then you go start talking to others. So you may achieve lots of fame and success, but at the end of the day, you feel that okay, the very people I lived with, whom I loved the most, they did not even pay any attention, and others who are total strangers, they paid so much attention. So it is slightly painful thing. So he had a very tough time, 30 years. If we are told that okay, you'll be getting the success of what you are destined to do, but after 30 years struggle, many of us will just die of sheer frustration. But he went through all that. When he went to the first Indian family, even that person, he was an Indian. I'm not getting his name right now, but his wife was an American, and then even the Indian himself, he was eating meat. So if he had to make something for bhog and something, he realized that in the refrigerator also the meatloaf was kept inside, because in America generally they say that they have grown 1 month uh, amount of food in their fridges and refrigerators so that they don't have the type of time to cook it every day. So they do it like that. So if he has to put a bhoga, so even an Indian is having this non-vegetarianism, he was going through that, and somebody told him that okay, there's a place where you can in automat you can put some coins and then you can take bath and then you can do your things. So he would go take bath out there so that he can remain fresh. So he went through such difficult time. 70-year-old, twice a heart attack receiver, and then living in a place where people aren't favorable. The first person he was trying to preach, he's trying to attack under the influence of drugs. So you can imagine what life he had gone through. And such hellish life he led. And he was coming from hot climate. Most of us who come from hot climate, here we are having body pains and all those things. Do you think that at the age of 70 he was not having? He was also having that. But he endured all this for all humanity only. That's why sometimes he would feel sad that okay, why did I leave this? Because his own God was saying that why you have perfected your life, why didn't you remain in Vrindavan only? Of course, towards the end of life he was in Vrindavan, but he could have peacefully remained like that. But he had his guru's mission to spread the Krishna consciousness around the world. So that's why he took us all the suffering. The least we could do in our gratitude is that we read his books and we try to preach what he preaches. So like we got fortunate to read his books. So if we are able to give little bit fortune to others without being selfish of giving to us, but if we give to others, so that will be actually pleasing him, and that will be his birthday gift to say. And that's all I want to conclude with this Gas Puja. If there's any question, comment, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Is there any question or any comment?
So we may have for 1 or 2 questions. That is about to start. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Wonderful lecture. Thank you. So if there's anyone who wants to ask, please.
Yes,
So what you say in at the end, like, can you be more clear about Vyas Puja? I don't know.
Vyas Puja in simple language is birthday celebration of our spiritual master or our guru.
Okay.
Like, do you remember that even in old times when we were talking about concept Gurukul,
Yeah.
whenever there was teacher's birthday, all the students will gather and they bring whatever they could bring
Mhm.
to the best of their capacity and give that as birthday gift.
Okay.
So Vyas Puja talks about it. So we are here in the birthday celebrating his birthday. So if when we go and celebrate, like we see, like my child is been invited on child's birthday,
Mhm.
so we have to think what gift we will be giving. So same way when we go to somebody's birthday party, so we should have that consciousness at least whether we are able to do that or not. But what gift we can bring. So what Srila Prabhupada had to give, he has given us. Krishna has to give, he has given us. Now what we do in return for them, that is our gift to them.
Okay.
That was the point.
Thank you.
Any other question? Any comments?
I have one, but it
Yes,
may
sir.
not be related to this last
Yeah,
one.
please feel free.
Out of all the books I have read on the slide, Bhagavad Gita has got the extension like as it is. Why not other things? Like, is it the way Bhagavad Gita was exactly translated from Veda Vyasa, and then let's say, for example, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Probably, I'll just put it this way. No. Before you proceed, I will just put it. I'm sorry. You could correct me if I'm mistaken. But you are coming from India.
Yes.
Yeah. You have been there, and have you seen other variants or versions of Bhagavad Gita in India? And if you realize that Bhagavad Gita you'll find in various sizes and various commentaries and all those things. So when we are talking about Srila Prabhupada, he was following parampara. He never gave any of his things. If you say, I say this, he won't say that. This devotee, Bhakti Vidya Bhushan, has said this has said this. So he is giving commentaries of others. And shloks remain the same, meaning word by word meaning, because he was giving different language. So everything remains the same. In explanation, he is giving commentary of others, not his versions. So when we say Bhagavad Gita as it is, everything remains the same, and he is giving comments of what he considered or were considered great devotees and what are their views, so that you don't get biased by his own views, but what others have to say. That's what he was doing. That's why it's called Bhagavad Gita as it is. And Bhagavatam and all those things, like there's too much of an effort. You'll find that there are any person, anybody, any politician writes his own commentary as Bhagavad Gita. If you are in politics, then what are you in devotion? Politics and devotion don't go together. There are politicians who have written Bhagavad Gita. That's why to make it clear distinction, that's why he said Bhagavad Gita as it is.
According to
Thank you.
Parampara.
According to Parampara, as Govinda Prabhu correctly mentions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. His Grace Sri Govinda Prabhu ki jai.